We do want to turn to the political side of things now, welcoming in Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partners at The Hill. Niall, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be here, Natasha.
So 3 objects shot down in a week's time. We are seeing decisively quicker reaction times in these last 2 incidents. Is that because of the criticism that President Biden faced the first time around?
The White House official line is no, it isn't. The distinction that they draw is the height at which these objects were flying, particularly in the relation to the one that was shot down on Friday. John Kirby, the national security spokesperson, saying there that the danger was that object interfering with aviation. The original Chinese balloon was flying much higher and posed apparently no immediate threat there. In saying all that, there clearly has been criticism. There have been congressional briefings in the past week that were quite stormy by all accounts, with lawmakers questioning the response to the first balloon. So that does, I think, create some degree of political pressure, or at least changes the political dynamics.
And we've spoken in the past about criticism of President Biden, whether it's fair or not, for being soft on China. If in fact it is found that these second and third objects do have Chinese origin, do you believe that we will see President Biden pressure to respond to this?
There is pressure to respond. Now, I would say a couple of things. One, President Biden has, for example, articulated quite a tough line with China on some issues, notably Taiwan, where he has said quite clearly that the United States would come to Taiwan's defense if China invaded. The point about pressure, though, is yes, there will be pressure, particularly if these 2 devices are shown to be Chinese, and if there is a perceived weakness that comes from the very deep psychological fears that are raised by objects flying overhead. I mean, that's different, it seems to me, than things like cyber warfare, which are, of course, a danger, but which don't really affect people in quite such a visceral way. Objects in the skies above you, that goes to some pretty deep fears, I think.
Any word on what the White House may be doing to try to make these situations less frequent?
No, because I'm not sure that there is much that they can do other than put diplomatic pressure on China if it proves that these second and third objects are indeed Chinese. You can't do a lot really until an object is in your airspace. Now, I take your previous guest's point that obviously we monitor things that may be en route to American airspace, but what action would be taken to prevent this happening? You can shoot it down once it's there, but I'm not sure how you prevent it getting here unless by diplomatic pressure in the broadest sense.
And Niall, the first object shot down unleashed Republican criticism of President Biden and a perceived slow response there. Any reaction from Republicans so far in these last 2 objects downed?
I haven't seen any reaction, certainly to the one today. There was some, perhaps somewhat grudging praise for the faster response in Friday's instance. Now, there are, as I say, legitimate distinctions. I mean, the one on Friday was shot down over frozen seawater in Alaska, much as the first one had been left until it got out into the ocean out of beyond South Carolina. So there are legitimate distinctions in these cases, but clearly Republicans want to frame it within the narrative of President Biden's perceived or purported weakness on China. As I say, that's a charge that the White House pushes back pretty vigorously against.
Okay, Niall Stanage, always appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.